So it's like 1 something in the morning, and let me actually look. It's 1:02 in the morning, and what you're seeing is the sky above my house flashing lightning. It's been raining for several hours, and it finally let up, but because of just how loud the rain and thunderstorms have been up to this point, both me and my puppy dog are still awake, and I went ahead and let him out because he's acting really nervous. And when I did that, I noticed that my cat was outside, and I had no idea. He must have snuck out at some point. He is allowed outside, and so that was good that I actually came out to let Sugar out. But also, if you can hear these guys in here, those are the babies that we moved outside, and they are screaming so loud I can hear them inside my bedroom, which isn't that far from the pen, and they are not impressed, I guess, with this weather and things happening. Now, they have a light on them still. Technically, it's getting warm enough where they don't really need it as much, and they can move out of it because their little pen that they go into is much larger, but I'm not comfortable putting them into the big pen with all of these guys because geese are a little territorial, and I've seen them grab and try to sling my big ducks. I do not want one of these cranky geese or their baby goslings to grab my ducklings and sling them across the pen. That is not cool at all. And as you can tell, these goslings are pretty much as big as their mom is. So they grew really, really fast. These babies hatched in January, and they're already so massive. It's unreal how fast geese grow. And so I think they're a really cool investment. But I kind of just wanted to come out here, even though it's dark outside and it's really early in the morning, to check up on everyone and see how they were doing, with the weather being kind of crazy. And I'm guessing because the weather had a break in it, every single one of these older guys are out. And you can see some of them are over here in the pond. Quackers and Shaniqua, they're best friends now, and they spend a good amount of time in the pond. So that's really awesome. I was worried about him always being a lone duck, but he's made a friend, and according to my oldest, they're best friends. He's excited because these are both his ducks, and they've made friends, so that's a good thing. Guys, I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. It's getting so loud, and there's a break right now. So our basset hound, I don't know how to explain it. He's interesting, I guess. But if he's not on his lead when he comes outside, he'll just take off running, or he'll be trying to search for our cat and trying to chase the cat around the yard. Him and the cat are friends. They sleep together, but the cat gets tired of Sugar sometimes. And so while I'm back here checking up on everyone, Sugar's just kind of hanging out on his lead. He has a 40-foot run where he can just go do his business, walk around, hang out by the front porch. And I don't have to worry about him running off or doing anything crazy. And it also keeps him away from all of these guys unless I have him on the short leash, where I can kind of control where he goes. But even then, even though he's really short because he's a basset hound, he weighs 45 pounds. So, and they have those strong muscular legs, so he can be a bit much for my boys to try and walk, if he decides he wants to run and do his own thing, which he doesn't usually, but he can sometimes be unpredictable. And I like to say that's just the puppy in him. He's only 2, but he'll be 3 in October, and I don't know if I can keep using that excuse forever. He's just a high energy dog. So I'll let him out here to use the bathroom because he's a nervous Nancy, I guess, and whenever it's storming the way it has been storming, he will not sleep well. He's up pacing. He comes to my room to check up on me. He wants to check up on our daughter. All the boys sleep in the same room. with him when it's raining, and he's checking up on them. I mean, he's really watching. Hey guys, what are y'all up to? I know it's early, and I turned on the light out here because I wanted to see what y'all are doing. The light was off, so my husband came and he installed several lights. You can kind of, I don't want to blind you guys, but you can kind of see these lights. And this little switch, so it goes from on, and I just turn it down and it goes off like that. So it makes it really easy, and there's 3 of them around the pin. So one in front where the door is, one on this side, and one on the other side. Now this side is the side that holds a lot of water, and we've blocked it off to try to regrow vegetation in it. And actually I'll have to come back during the day and make a video because there's a lot of vegetation finally growing around this pin, which is really awesome. And I'm trying to look in the camera. I don't think I can see it in there. I actually see some sunflowers that must be the same type as the sunflower I showed up front, that came from our fodder that we give them. You can kind of see the green leaves of one in here, but not really well. And it's still nighttime. Hey, what are you guys? I know that goose sound. What are you guys upset about? Y'all should be sleeping. You guys should be sleeping. Y'all's light's still on. Y'all are just being cranky. What we don't have, even though we have this light up here, I don't have a good light in the pin. We did have a plug-in light, but when we extended the pin, it got broke. So that's something I have to work on and getting another one. But I just kind of came to check in on everyone. And honestly, they look like they're all doing really well. The babies are just being loud babies. And I think that's just part of being a little duckling and dealing with all the rain and loud noises. Once they get old enough that they have enough feathers that they can run around, it'll be different. And if they were fully feathered, I may consider letting them out now, but I don't think so. I think that they're still so small, and there are too many predators. I find that when you're raising ducklings in colder weather, they just grow slower than spring hatch ducklings do and summer hatch ducklings do. You guys want to say hi? It's crazy that those two are in there swimming, and previously I had the light off in here, so they were swimming in the dark. I don't know if ducks and geese can see better in the dark than we can, honestly. What's up, Dorian, my man? Why are you looking at me like that? Dorian always, every time he's over here, you can see the wheels turning in his head, like, should I escape? How am I going to get a treat or grass from this woman? Like, he's constantly trying to figure out his escape plan because he really likes all this grass around here. So this is his fun area. And now, actually, a lot of this grass is producing seed, which you may not be able... Oh yeah, you can see it. I can see it. All this seed, and that's his favorite treat, is this grass seed. And I think that's what he's wanting. Dorian, look what I have. He's over me. He's not even paying attention. Oh, you are. Your baby's in there with you. I brought you grass, man. Well, try again. I'm trying to waste time until the puppy has had time to go to the bathroom and everything else. So maybe he'll go in and rest and go to sleep. Usually he waits until morning time, but like I said, we've both been up all night because of the rain, so. Really? It fell in there? What's your guys' problem tonight, huh? I just put grass in there and nobody's even paying attention. Hi, Dorian. Dorian now wants to pay attention. Here you go. Silly goose. Literally silly goose. Want another piece? Whether intentionally or not, sometimes he might get a little too close to comfort to your hands. These guys are so upset because they don't understand why I'm not letting them out. And it actually feels like the rain is starting to pick up again. So I know this is not a very in-depth fancy video or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to, I guess, bring everyone along to check up and see what was up with everyone outside and why they were so upset. And I think the rain has a lot to do with it. You can hear the babies are just being unbelievably loud. Whiny little creatures. Oh, looks like it's starting to sprinkle again. But look at the sky. I guess you can see it better without the light on than with the light on, which is funny. I guess the light kind of distorts everything. So, I'm surprised. This is the area that usually floods and there's not a lot of water back here. And as heavy as the rain has sounded, that just blows my mind. You can kind of see he's loosened up his harness. But I mean, we put him on the lead. And I came back over here to take him and myself inside. And he's over here chasing a June bug in this chaotic mess that is my front porch. You can see like all of our shoes are scattered everywhere. Sugar's even been known to grab our shoes and run off the porch with them. Hey, stop messing with the June bug. Let's go inside. Can we go inside? Probably need to take your harness off to sleep. You messy mess. You messy mess. He's funny, but he can be a pain in the butt. Come on, let's go check on the baby chickens. Inside. Come on. So on the way to baby chickens, and I'll probably make a video about this separately at some point. I may not even remember because I'm really sleepy. And these potatoes were potatoes that they're store-bought potatoes that we were going to eat. And they were pretty green when they got delivered because I just did grocery delivery. It's so much easier when we weren't feeling well. And you can see like some of these potatoes, they're abnormally green. Like potatoes should not be that green. And actually, potatoes can make you pretty sick if they're too green. Technically, you need to eat a pound of potato skins that are green. But I started peeling one and like the whole inside of the potato was green. And this is the yellow variety. So I was just like, I can throw them all out like I did the last one and it'll probably grow in the compost. Or I can say, what the heck, and put them under the grow light and see what happens. And so that's what I did. Usually the grow light gets turned off at night and left on all day. But because I just put these under and the boys were a little nervous about it being darker because of the storm, I just let it be. And so everywhere that there's one of these eyes, this potato has potential. You could cut this out and grow another plant. And I haven't really decided if I'm going to plant each whole potato or if I'm going to cut each one of these sections off and use it to make multiple potato plants. Because say right here, this could be a potato plant and this could be a potato plant. But our soil is pretty wet, and so I'm not really sure. It really depends on if we're going to have like a extreme April-y showery type of year. That's crazy important to try and figure out, because if I cut these all up into quarters, even if I let them scab over, which is kind of where you let them, really it's similar to when you skin your knee and it scabs over. The potato kind of scabs over just like that. And then you can plant them, but if the soil's really wet, you can get a lot of bacterial and viral illnesses in your potatoes. And I'm just not sure about that. Right now, I'm just going to let them grow and see what happens. I didn't do anything special except for kind of lay them out. And where I saw these little chits coming out, I put those face up. And I know that's a funny name. My kids think I'm cursing all the time when I say that, but that's really what it's called. Little eyes of potatoes are called chit, and the eye sprouting out is called chitting. So these will all produce little potato plants, and I think that's a really cool way to get some potatoes, but also is unexpected because I really wanted to cook some potatoes and didn't get that. Literally every bit were turning very green, and I thought, this is a variety, you order from like HEB or something, and if they don't have what you ordered, they can just substitute it. And I had never had to have potato substituted. In fact, every time I go, there's like this huge bin that's 3.5, 4 feet tall, and twice as much wide, full of this golden potato. So I didn't even think about it needing to get substituted. And this brand, I don't think I'll ever buy it if I see it in the store, because seriously, almost every potato from 2 bags were green. And I'm just like, wow, that's wild, So definitely something to watch out for when you're buying potatoes. They are a member of the nightshade plant, just like tomatoes. So there are certain parts of the plant that you just don't want to eat because it can make your tummy really hurt. And it can make you feel really icky, and it's just not good for you. So that's something to watch out for, definitely. And it's so funny because I was telling my husband that I was actually afraid to buy rhubarb because the leaves can be eaten and only the stalk can. And I didn't want my kids to get confused with, say, the rainbow Swiss chard. But here I am growing potatoes and having to warn them if they produce any fruit not to eat it because it looks like tomatoes, and the fruit potatoes produce above the soil is poisonous. So I guess it's just a matter of, making sure they're in a space or picking off those fruits and making sure your family knows the difference. But if you're new to gardening and you're still learning stuff like I am, I think those are really good things to know. Hey, guy, what are you making all that noise for? What are you doing? We need to take your harness off. Oh. Hey, what are you? Goofy. Thank you. You're so itchy. If you don't know this, basset hounds, you can't bathe them too often, even though this dude loves to roll around in the dirt and stuff. And also, they have pretty sensitive skin, so anything can disrupt that. And also, they can be prone to yeast infections on their skin, as well as ear infections because of these long droopy ears. So that's something to watch out for. If you really want a basset hound, there are so many things you need to learn about their temperament and how dependent they are on people emotionally, and very sensitive they are, and very needy. And also they have a lot of special conditions as far as their diet and their skin and their ears, because unfortunately they're very food motivated, and that's just not always good for them. You're so cute, and your name's Sugar, but I know you can be temperamental and cranky around people you don't know. Yes, I do. So I wanted to come and check up on these guys, because I think this is the first time they've actually heard a real storm. But they all look like they're doing great. And I haven't even posted the video of them hatching yet. 3 of these are feed store-bought chicks, but the 4 yellowish ones and this one up front with the puffy face are all ones that we recently hatched. And I actually made a video about that, but my camera's acting crazy and it got split into multiple videos, and I just haven't had the energy to go through and string them together yet. So probably do that, but not tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know it was like a really random video. This is what happens when I can't sleep at night. And I'm hoping that the storm's a little calmer now. Maybe I can fall asleep. But I know that if it picks up as bad as it's saying again, I'll be up all night, because I'm just a little worrywart when it comes to things, especially with the birds outside, and my puppy will just be pacing back and forth all night. So it's just really going to be a hard night to sleep. So I hope you guys have better luck and you get plenty of rest.